John says, I'm his cheat day. Says all week he eats healthy and he does the respectable cinema, you know, like Batla House and Parmanu. And then I come along and I'm his cheat meal, where I make him do this mad, larger than life, heroic Hindi film, Hulk kind of action. For all you know, I may keep making Satyameva Jayate only with John. One film with John, Satyameva Jayate, another film in between while he's busy, again Satyameva Jayate with John. What else can anyone ask for as a filmmaker? Okay. Because I had no work that time, Imesh. Nobody was taking my calls. I had absolutely no career. And I was sitting at home and Shad said, Milap, you're better than what people think you are. You need to do something. And he pushed me. And then, Veer Das, after Mastizaade, agreed to work with me again.
Hi guys, this is Himesh and welcome to Pinkvilla. Today we have with us Milap Zaveri, who is known for mass entertainers, which are the need of the hour. Welcome to Pinkvilla, Milap. It's lovely having you here.
Thank you, Himesh. Lovely being here. And more importantly, I'm happy to be sitting across you doing an interview.
You know, talking about journey, firstly, could you tell us something about the journey of Satyameva Jayate and when did you decide to spin it into a franchisee?
Well, Imesh, 15th August 2018, when Satyameva Jayate 1 released, that evening itself, after from Getty Galaxy, we went to John's office. And by then we knew that, you know, the film has opened huge and people have loved the film, the masses have loved the film. And the first thing I looked at John, I said, John, we have to do part 2.
Okay.
He said, yes, Milap, we have to do part 2. So it was the day Satyameva Jayate released that we decided we are going to do Satyameva Jayate 2.
Okay.
Then was my responsibility and duty to get a good plot because franchise is a big responsibility. You know, you can't just make a part 2 for the heck of it. People's expectations are higher. People want to see a better film, a bigger film. So then I was already that time, I had started work on Marjava. You know, Siddharth and Ritesh had signed on and I had started the prep for that. So John told me, you start shooting Marjava, finish it and then you take time off and start writing. But I got the germ and the idea of Satyameva Jayate 2 before I started shooting Marjava.
Okay.
And I narrated the idea to John, Bhushan sir, Nikhil, Monisha, Madhu, and they all loved the idea.
Okay.
And they said, okay, you start, you know, writing this. And let's make this film.
So when you started writing it, was it always conceptualized as a triple role film?
Well, I'll be honest with you, it was always a double role film.
Okay.
It was a double role film. Satya and Jay were both supposed to be John. And the father's character, Dada Saab Azad, was written and I thought I'll go to another actor for it. And then one night, you know, I just got an idea and I just messaged John. I said, John, I think you should play the father.
Okay.
I said I think it should be a triple role and I can't see anybody but you playing this role and I really feel you should do it. And to his, he was initially a little taken aback because it was his first double role. Now I am telling him you do a triple role. So he said, are you sure, Milap? I said, John, I am absolutely sure. And the power of the story will come even bigger if you are playing the father. And he agreed, you know, to do it. And then I told Nikhil and Bhushanji and everybody else and they said, okay, fine, great. If John is okay with it, why not? We are also okay with it. So the idea actually came to me. I've been a huge fan of films like Mahan. I've been a huge fan of films like John Jani Janardhan with Kamal Hassan. No, sorry, Rajnikant had done Appu Raja with Kamal Hassan. You know, so triple roles have always excited me. You know, and even the South, they do such great work. Jai Lava Kusa or Mersal. You know, they've done it so brilliantly. So I was always excited about that.
Okay. And you know, when you first messaged John, that I think first when you messaged him for a double role and then a triple role, how did he react? Because you know, he always has a different kind of love for you, saying Milap can make me do anything he wants to.
John always says, Milap is my cheat day. He says all week he eats healthy and he does the respectable cinema, you know, like Batla House and Parmanu. And then I come along and I'm his cheat meal, where I make him do this mad, larger than life, heroic Hindi film, Hulk kind of action and dialogue bazi and all that. So he loves me. See, I am where I am today because of John Abraham.
Correct.
He's the one who changed my career, who gave me a new life. He gave me a new career. Today I am making films is thanks to him. That he had faith in me 4 years back when he said yes to Satyameva Jayate. You know, so I always look at him like a hero in my mind. He's a real life hero for me. You know, and Nikhil Advani has this joke. He says, you know, Milap thinks that one John can do anything. Just for logic to calm us down. he said ठीक है 3 कर लेंगे. मिलाप का बच्चा तो एक जॉन हर चीज कर सकता है. वो मिलाप के माइंड में जॉन सुपर हीरो है.
So how do you plan to take it forward? Knowing you, I'm sure you must have planned 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I mean, touch wood, if the audiences like Satyameva Jayate 2, I would love to make part 3. I would love to take the franchise forward. I have an idea for part 3 also that I've already bounced off John, which he's loved the idea. So if Touchwood part 2 works with the audience, because the audience for me is the ultimate judge, you know, they are the ones who decide whether a film works or not.
Yeah.
With all due respect to critics, and you know, the audience for me is the most important. So if they give love to part 2 like they gave to part 1, then I will guarantee make part 3.
Correct. Because I remember, I think it was during Marjava when we spoke, that time you had said you would love to make a Satyameva Jayate every 3 years.
Maybe every 2 years, you never know. You know, for all you know, I may keep making Satyameva Jayate only with John. One film with John, Satyameva Jayate, another film in between while he's busy, again Satyameva Jayate with John. That, I mean, what else can anyone ask for as a filmmaker?
Correct. And Milap, you know, you made a very gritty thriller called Rakh, which, you know, which was actually, which even you believe was a turning point in terms of the entire way the industry perceives your work.
Correct.
Is that a space that you want to, you know, explore in the feature film format?
Well, you know, it's a great question, Himesh. Rakh was very gritty and dark. Satyameva Jayate 1 was not as dark as Rakh, but it was darker than Satyameva Jayate 2. You know, it had a little more intensity, anger and angst than part 2. Part 2 is more of a family entertainer potboiler. I would love to do something like Rakh, Himesh. Why not? You know, something as edgy as that. And I must give credit here to Shad Randhawa and Veer Das, who were the ones who pushed me to make. I mean, Shad is the one who pushed me to make Rakh. Because I had no work that time, Himesh. Nobody was taking my calls. I had absolutely no career. And I was sitting at home. And Shad said, Milap, you are better than what people think you are. You need to do something. And he pushed me. And then, I mean, Veer Das, who, I mean, after Mastizaade, agreed to work with me again. That requires a lot of guts and courage. And when I met him, I told him, Veer, you can leave your dogs on me. And I've come back to you for a film. But he was gracious enough to listen to me, and he loved the idea and he supported it. Richa Chadda also, you know, who did a small special appearance in it. So why not, yeah? If a right subject comes, I would love to do something as gritty as Rakh also.
And you know, you just mentioned about the tough days that you had after Mastizaade and all those films. How difficult was that phase, and how did you emerge a winner from that? And
well, I guess I need to give credit to quite a few people. There is my wife Gauri, my son Mehan, my family, my best friends Shad Randhawa and Izaz Khatau. They were my strengths during that time. And someone who was, in a way, I call her my fairy godmother. That's Monisha Advani.
okay,
You know, I call her Devi Ma. She's the one who had faith in me. She's the one who bought the script of Marjava from me when I had no work and no money.
Okay.
She's the one who heard Satyameva Jayate 2 and sorry, part 1 and said, I will produce this film. You know, and obviously Nikhil Advani, Madhu Bhojwani, who along with her supported me, then Bhushan Kumar sir. And the other two people who were very important was Rohit Dhawan, David Dhawan sir's son. Rohit is the one who pushed me to go to John Abraham.
Okay.
There's a story about Satyameva Jayate which is very few people know, Himesh. So when I told Rohit I want to, you know, I'm making this story and I don't have an actor and I think I'll try and make it in South. In Hindi nobody will work with me. I'll try and make it as a Tamil or Telugu film.
Okay.
And Rohit said, no Milap, you can't do that. And I had mentioned to Rohit that 10 days back I had bumped into John on Carter Road. His car and my car were side by side. So Rohit told me, Milap, you have an in point to message. Message him that, hey, it was good meeting you that day. I want to narrate a script. Saying, John will not care about your past failures. He'll only care about your present script. What very few people knew that time, even John didn't know, Rohit didn't know. That day when I bumped into him, Himesh, I was passing by Candies in Bandra on Pali Hill. And I passed John's, I was going past John's office. And the gate opened and John came out in his car with his wife. And in his sports car and he zoomed. And I was so low, Himesh. I was so low on self-esteem. I had no work, I had nothing. I just wanted him to see me and just recognize me. I wanted him to acknowledge me. Himesh, I chased his car. I chased John's car from Pali Hill to Carter Road. I drove at the speed of almost 120 kilometers per hour. I was lucky that before Otters Club on Carter Road, there's a speed breaker. So John had to slow down for that. So I could catch up with him. And when I caught up with him, I casually just caught his eye. He saw me, he rolled his window down. He said, hey Milap, he introduced me to his wife. He said, this is Milap, he wrote Shootout at Wadala. dialogues for me.
Okay.
And Himesh, that day I went home and I said I felt I'm worth something because he recognized me.
Correct.
Today when I look back, Himesh, if I had not chased his car that day, just for nothing, not that I was offering him anything that time,
Yeah.
just to feel acknowledged and to feel good about myself. If I had not chased John Abraham's car that day, my career would never have taken off the way it took off. The trajectory that happened would never have happened. And I would have never told Rohit Dhawan this. He would have never told me to message John. And then Meenakshi, who was John's manager, then now she's a co-producer in John's company. I mean, to credit to her, she told me, Milap, he doesn't have time, I'll hear the narration. I said, Meenakshi, I would love to narrate to you and Sayukta, who was the head of development. But if you can please get John to hear it, I would be grateful. That girl heard something in my voice, Himesh.
Okay.
She said, give me 15 minutes, Milap, I'm calling you back. 15 minutes, she called me, she said, Milap, John will hear it tomorrow. I have convinced him to remove time. And the next day I went and narrated.
And that's
and see what happened. At the success party of Satyameva Jayate, I told John the story finally.
Okay.
That John, that day I chased your car. I didn't bump into you by chance. He looked at me and said, you have conned me. you have cheated me. So Nikhil Advani was there saying, yeah, John, he's conned you into your biggest hit. So that's his struggle. Yeah. Sometimes people struggle or a bad time pushes you to do things. And the most important thing, Himesh, is to be positive and be good to people around you. See, when you're doing well, Himesh, it's easy. When you're doing well, it's easy to be good to people. When you're doing badly, you're doing well, you're doing anything. You should be good to people. Who knows who will help you when?
Correct.
Who will come to your rescue? Rohit Dhawan, who came to my rescue. Meenakshi came to my rescue. Monisha, Madhu, Nikhil Advani, Bhushan Kumar, all came to my rescue. It's only about the blessings of people who you're good to. That helps you. If you don't have that now, then you can be as talented as you want, but in a bad time, nobody will come for you.
Correct. No, that's absolutely, And you said about planning to make Satyameva Jayate as a Tamil or Telugu film. You had any actors in mind for that?
That time I thought I'll go to maybe Karthi or something.
Okay.
We were just brainstorming, Monisha and me. Who should we go to? I always knew I wanted Manoj Bajpayee to play the cop's role. And I mean again, another man, I must give him credit. And another story I'll tell you about him. So he heard the narration and he said, Milap yaar, तूने भाइयों की love story लिखी है. ये भाइयों की love story है. इससे मैं picture कर रहा हूँ. And we started shooting. 10 days into the shoot, by chance someone showed him the trailer of Mastizaade.
Okay.
सर यार ज़वेरी तूने मुझे धोखा दिया है. मुझे पता होता तूने बनाई तो मैं तेरी पिक्चर कभी नहीं करता. ऐसे सर इसलिए तो आपको बताया नहीं मैंने कि मैंने Mastizaade बनाई थी. I mean what a man. I mean he was a absolute gem, legend to work with, And he was so secure and I always say he brought the credibility to Satyameva Jayate. John was the action and the power, but Manoj Bajpayee along with John brought in so much credibility. जो मुझे आधा स्टार कहीं ज़्यादा मिला वो शायद इसलिए क्योंकि मनोज बाजपेयी मेरी पिक्चर में थे.
Correct. And talking about stars, how important are the critic reviews for you vis-a-vis box office? I know your take on it, but
no. See, I'll tell you what. When I was younger, Himesh, I used to feel bad. I used to fight also with people. I used to do all that. And what I look back now, Himesh, every critic, every reviewer is a human being who has a point of view.
Correct.
If they don't like my film, that it's not because they don't like me or they hate me or they have a problem with me. I'm okay with them not liking it. As long as my audience likes it. As long as the audience that goes to the cinema comes out and says this film is good. Mastizaade didn't flop because the critics didn't like it. Mastizaade flopped because the audience didn't like it. Satyameva Jayate didn't become a super hit because the critics hated it. It became a super hit because the audience loved it. Same for Marjava.
Yeah.
I remember in Marjava, I used to have a joke with Siddharth on set. When we used to take a shot, I used to say, Siddharth, दिन में एक ऐसा shot लेंगे जिसपे critics नसें काट दे. I said, the critics should hate this film. If the critics like this film will fail. And he said, तू क्या बात कर रहा है? I said, Siddharth, हम ऐलान जंग बना रहे, ये हुकूमत है. Bro, what are these references you're giving me? I mean, what an amazing guy. I'm so happy for him right now that Shershah has rocked for him after Marjava, box office success. Now Shershah has got all around success, critical as well as, on the OTT. What a lovely guy. He used to be so paranoid of me on set. He said, Milap, tu mujhse kya karwa raha hai? And there's a scene in the film where he punches a guy on a bike and the helmet breaks. Saying, bro, how can the helmet break? What's the logic behind it? I said, Siddharth, the logic is that tu hero hai. So he's saying, Milap, ye kaisa logic hai? I said, Siddharth, yehi logic hai. So I mean, with Siddharth, with Ritesh, who are all my
Yeah.
closest friends, John, my thing to them is that I'm not thinking about the critics. If I start thinking about the critics, I'll not have conviction. My conviction will shake.
Correct.
If I believe John Abraham can rip an engine out of a car's bonnet, or he can tear a tire, or a Siddharth Malhotra can punch one helmet and crack it, or he can jump from a 40-foot Ravan, or a Ritesh Deshmukh can be a midget, right? If I lose this conviction thinking about what a critic will say, then I'll not be able to make the films I want to make him make.
Correct.
I want to make films like Manmohan Desai sir made, that Prakash Mehra sir made, Subhash Ghai sir made, Rakesh Roshan sir made. Satyameva Jayate 2 is a tribute to the cinema these directors made. These are the films I grew up on. I watched Amar Akbar Anthony, Naseeb, Dharamveer, Coolie, Desh Premi, Agnipath, Ram Lakhan, Karan Arjun, Ghatak. Ghayal. These are films I grew up on. These are films I grew up watching as a boy.
Okay.
So I want to make this kind of cinema. And if I start thinking about critics, then I will not be able to make it. I'll not be able to make it.
True. And Milap, talking about films that you grew up watching and the zone that you are in, what are you looking to explore next? What next for you after Satyameva Jayate?
Himesh, I want to continue doing commercial cinema. I'm very sure about that. I want to do powerful, hard-hitting, with dialogue bazi, action, emotion. See, emotion is very important for me. There are a couple of scripts which I'm working on that are in process. Hopefully soon I will be able to make an announcement about that. I'll obviously want to work with John again after Satyameva Jayate. Touchwood, like I told you, if Satyameva Jayate 2 does well, I know John doesn't have dates for almost a year now. He's busy doing other things. Then I would love to return with Satyameva Jayate 3 with John in maybe end 2022, early 2023. I would like to start Satyameva Jayate 3 with John. Touchwood, if everything goes well with Satyameva Jayate 2. I want to make commercial, entertaining cinema, Himesh. I want to make cinema that audiences love.
Okay, but you have not decided anything specific on
next? So as I said, there are a couple of scripts and there is Satyameva Jayate 3.
Okay.
Which the idea I have locked in my mind. John has loved the idea. As I said, if everything goes well with Satyameva Jayate 2, I will want to make Satyameva Jayate 3 with John next year.
And any last words on Satyameva Jayate 2 before signing off?
Well, Satyameva Jayate 2 is coming Thursday, 25th November in cinemas only. And I must say I'm very grateful to my producers who have held on to this film, did not give it out on OTT. They said this film is a big screen experience. I want to wish Salman Bhai, Ayush, Mahesh sir, the entire team of Antim, they are coming one day after us. I hope audiences go in big numbers for Antim as well as Satyameva Jayate 2, cinemas resurrect again. And I want to just salute and give a big thank you to Sooryavanshi, to the entire team, from Rohit Shetty to Shibashish to Karan, Akshay sir, Ajay sir, Ranveer, Katrina, the entire team. They have brought cinemas back. They have brought the audiences back into the theatre. And hopefully Satyameva Jayate 2, Bunty Bubbly 2, Antim, all these films will bring audiences even more back into the cinemas as things go forward.
Correct.
Yeah, and the masses, they will come in big numbers into the theatre.
Correct. And sorry, just one more question that before signing off, you spoke about Antim. How do you view the clash? From what I am hearing, it is going to be a very balanced scenario wherein all the stakeholders have spoken to support each other. Could you tell us something?
See, I'll tell you, it's so generous of Salman Bhai. He tweeted our promo. He wished us. I think he went for the launch of Antim. There also he said कि Satyameva Jayate 2 bhi dekho. He told the people there. John tweeted Antim's trailer. He wished Salman Bhai and Ayush. So there's a great camaraderie which is very important for the industry. Salman Bhai himself told me that right now what is important is that as an industry we come together, we support cinemas. Har picture chalni chahiye. He told me, Milap, I will tweet your trailer.
Okay.
He loved the dialogue of the trailer also, the Baap ki top or Maa ki coke. I love that dialogue. It was so generous and so great of him. And see, as far as the clash goes, see, films have clashed before. Satyameva Jayate came with Gold. Both the films did great business. Batla came with Machine Mangal, did fabulously. So I don't look at it as a clash. I look at it as audiences have two great choices to go to. We are one day before, so that's a good thing. So the audiences who want to see Satyameva Jayate can go on the first day
And then what?
Next day is Antim. It's not really a clash because we're not coming exactly on the
Same
day with each other. But honestly, it's an honor to be in a era where actors are not fighting, where they are coming together to support each other's films. I think it's extremely great of John and Salman Bhai and Ayush. That they are showing such grace and sportsmanship in these times, and I think the whole industry should learn from that. And I want to tell all the fans of Satyameva Jayate to go see Antim also. I want to request all the fans of Antim, please come and see Satyameva Jayate 2 also. That's the final truth. This is the truth will prevail. Come and support both films. Come and support cinemas. Come and support the industry.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best for Satyameva Jayate.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi, this is Milap Zaveri, and you're watching my exclusive interview with the one and only Himesh Mankad on Pinkvilla.